Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. I feel strangely enchanted by Puscifer. Is it the vocal intensity in the duet between Maynard and Karina? Or maybe those strange dissonances? Or it might be the fascinating lyrics. I'm not sure, but I want more. So let's get to it. I really dig this sort of ancient feeling that's in the music. It's interesting. Maybe this is because it's talking about ancient subjects. I'm liking the storytelling a lot as well. There's a certain simplicity in the vocal line, yet a way that it seems to circle, which is fascinating to me. And there's also this slight Western, the Wild West kind of feel as well. I think that's partly an instrumentation. Lots of really interesting things going on here. I'm going to go back to the beginning. One more time at the beginning. I'm checking something out. It's so deceptive. I'm looking for where that downbeat is and trying to figure out essentially what the time signature is. But there are moments when Maynard's voice is entering that aren't what I would consider the downbeat. And then there's this drum that hits. Normally you can find a downbeat in the music as being the loudest, most boomy part that has a repetitive feeling. So that big drum would be a really good indication of where a downbeat is, where to start our counting from to figure out what the time signature would be. But then there's also the phrasing in the guitar that you have to pay attention to. And a lot of these are crossing over each other and occurring in different places. So it's a little deceptive to me on first listen. It's possible that later on it will all become clear. Sometimes that happens. So I'm going to keep going for now. Go back just a little bit to catch this next entrance. But I've never crossed the river. Brave the forest, brave the stone. Brave the icy winds and fire. Braved and beat them on my own. Yet I'm helpless by the river. There are times in there I could have sworn that we had 7 beats that were in the signature, but I got lost a few times, which major compliments to them. I love sleuthing time signatures, but this one was definitely, it's just got a subtleness to it. Sometimes I'm like, oh, that was a 4/4, and then I'm like, no. that I was counting two different things that didn't work together. So it's really cool. Really, really cool. Let's go back just a little bit and keep going.
Angel, angel, what have I done? A face that quakes, the wind, the fire. I've conquered country, crown and throne. Why can't I cross this river?
Huh. So fascinating how they're bringing in these different instruments here. It's like, I know Maynard largely from Tool, which has a much heavier sound, right? Puscifer has got this lighter, more acoustic sound. And it sounds simple, like deceptively simple, but it's actually extremely complex. And again, I just get this feeling of they've tapped into something ancient in this song. The storytelling is fascinating, right? Like this idea, I love the name of the song, The Humbling River, and then the idea of people able to climb mountains, conquered country, crown, and throne, but they can't conquer a river. I feel like there's so many different things that river can represent too in life. It has so much application. The lyric writing in this is just superb. Maynard is really great at that, so I'm not surprised.
The fire. I've conquered country, crown and throne. Why can't I cross this river?
I almost would swear that they're switching up signatures every now and then. For a while, I had a clear feeling of like a 6/4 going on in there, but I found definite moments of a 7/4. And then right then when I was counting 6/4, I got to a point where I felt like I got like a 3/4 in there, and then it restarted the phrase. I'm so curious about this now. I'm gonna have to do a deep dive on time signatures in this. It's really, really cool. I like the way that there's a feeling of getting lost. I think that's part of the point of this song, is that if you're trying to conquer a river, like if you're going to try and swim through a raging river, it's very easy to get lost and tumbled about in it. So, but at the same time, the river seems so smooth. Okay, lots of ways we could read into this.
Angel, angel, what have I done? A face that quakes, the wind, the fire. I've conquered country, crown and throne. Why can't I cross this river?
Oh, nice addition of that flute there.
Pay no mind to the battles you've won. It will take a lot more than rage and muscle. Open your heart and hands, my son, or you'll never make it over the river.
This is so cool. So Karina's voice entered here, and a lot of the time they're singing in unison, singing really the same note. Their voices are blending beautifully. I love that you have such a close blend between a male and a female voice. I think that's partly why the sound of them together is so enthralling. But then they're just really sort of open harmonies that she'll end up in at various times, where she's lingering on the top note and Maynard's voice goes down. And the way that those harmonies end opening up make it sound, again, fairly ancient. Like I think it opens up to maybe a fourth or a fifth in there. And you add to that a lot of the Native American instruments that have been coming in. I definitely feel like they are bringing in this ancient feel, which they established from the very beginning, but have strengthened as they've chosen specific instruments to draw out that feeling. I'm going to go back to where she entered. This is cool that the lyrics video ended up shifting into this font. By the way, I chose this lyrics video because there wasn't a live version that we could see or a music video, but the album cover had some language which we don't really use on the channel. So I ended up doing this lyrics video, but I really do encourage all of you to listen to the album itself. Definitely you want to support your artists, but I also think this is a really cool lyrics video. So we're going to put both links below in the about section of this video. Let's keep going.
Pay no mind to the battles you've won. It'll take a lot more than rage and muscle. Open your heart and hands, my son, or you'll never make it over the river. It'll take a lot more than words and guns, a whole lot more than riches and muscle. The hands of the many must join as one, and together we'll cross the river.
The harmony choices in there they're just so tastefully done. It stays open again. It's not really like flowing through each other. You don't see lots of crossing. It's just, it feels, the way that they're choosing the harmonies harkens back to this idea of ancient again. And there's simplicity in it. This whole song seems to be really tapping into simplicity of nature, but the fact that it's extremely complicated and you can't really truly conquer it. This is masterfully written. It just goes to show that to write something that is simple sounding can be extremely, extremely difficult. And the more you dig into it, often the more you find that there are pieces of the craft all over that have been perfected to make that simplicity shine.
The hands of the many must join as one, and together we'll cross the river. It'll take a lot more than words and guns, a whole lot more than riches and muscle. The hands of the many must join as one, and together we'll cross the river. Nature, nature, heaven. It'll take a lot more than words and guns, a whole lot more than riches and muscle. To conquer every mountain. The hands of the many must join as one.
This is really fascinating, the way they've shifted things in the stereo sound, and the imaging is really cool. So you can see from the images in the lyrics video when it's shifting to different directions. They put the lyrics in that area. By the way, if you don't have a great set of headphones, I really recommend getting a pair. It's amazing to experience great music in great headphones. I have a link to my Sweetwater store where I basically recommended a bunch of different gear that you, I think, would probably greatly benefit from if you're looking for awesome headphones. And I try to put different ones and different levels so that you have an area to start in. I really love these ones personally. Open backed headphones, Bear Dynamics. That's awesome. The open backed gives it more spaciousness, less pressure in the ear overall. These are very comfy. So get a great pair of headphones to really love music more and more. Highly, highly recommend it. Or you can also just have some awesome speakers, monitors. Yeah, I love being immersed in music like this when they're making use of that stereo imaging, really shifting it into different areas. It feels like it's starting to swirl again, kind of like being lost in that river. I want to go back to this part. It's such a strange sensory experience. So this is before they start the imaging. There we go. And it's interesting, there's still harmonies that linger in other parts of that imaging, but in the center, we just got a nice string instrument. And of course, we've got the drums at the very center as well. It's just like all of these textures in the music are suddenly, they feel like they've become more vibrant because of how they're drawing our attention to different directionalities. I love the thickness of the harmonies.
Together we'll cross the river.
Wow. I love that entire section. And the thickness of the harmonies as there's just sort of swirling around you, and then the way at the very end that they brought it back to center again was very, very fascinating. I think also it feels like I'm starting to get a better sense of some of what's happening in the time signature. I'll count out a few things here.
And together we'll cross the river. Brave the forest. Take a lot more than words and
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that was a 7 again. So I think that we have a bunch of 7/4s, and then there's a 6/4 that gets inserted. I think, again, there's so many different possibilities for this. I do think we're seeing some changes in the signature, really subtle changes, because that bottom number is staying the same the whole time. So we still have a subdivision of 2, bum, 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 instead of bum, 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 which would make it a different number on the bottom. All right, we're going to keep going. Ooh, they're even just taking his voice and made it wide.
And together we'll cross the river.
Wow. So meditative. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to go back and catch these last few moments again. I just love the meditative nature of this. And I love this, that they keep coming back to this idea of together, together, together. This idea that to face challenges in life, you need to lean on other people. That you're stronger with support of others. I think that's so important to mention because there are so many incredible challenges, also good ones and really dark ones. And if you face them with other people, you build those relationships, you make them stronger, you make life more vibrant together. There's so much to be said for doing things with other people and choosing the right people to do it with you.
Together we'll cross, together we'll cross the river.
Interesting, the build and the decay on that, great. The song has such a beautiful softness to it and simplicity that is completely evasive at the same time. I loved the way that there was this thickening essentially of the sound in the middle and then it became simple at the end. I also really loved the instrumentation choices. I feel that it supports the lyrics extremely well. And then the way that they've swirled the lyrics around and brought them back together at the end, I think is just masterful. If you want to see some more analysis of Maynard and various things that Maynard has done, I'm going to create a playlist over here so you can go down that rabbit hole, and may you fall more in love with music every day.